Hello, so today I want to share some of my current favorite books that I have been listening to lately and that, in my opinion, have a connection to minimalism. So, one of the things that brings me the most joy is when I can do some simple housework, a little bit of cleaning, cooking, with a nice audiobook and a nice cup of coffee, and of course, some company from my funny rabbit who always helps me. And I am always happy when I see some new book recommendations because I never have enough to listen. So I thought let's share my current favorites. So I will start with the first one, and it is The Happiest Man on Earth. It's a book that had the biggest impact on me, and I am a little bit sad that the book is over. To be honest, it was one of the most inspirational things that I have read in a real long time. And it was not a happy inspiration, it was the toughest thing that I have ever heard. And I cried a lot when I read it. But inspiration does not always have to be only positive. The book contains a very important message about how to enjoy life in the simple things and how to treasure every second, how to survive, how to be strong, and even how to thrive. How to not let yourself be defined by the negative sides of life and the tough stuff that are around us or that happen to us. It's about how important love is and compassion. The strength of this man and the love that he carries in his heart and soul for others is beyond anything that I have ever seen. And I noticed that ever since that I read it, I care so much less for unimportant things, also emotionally. It's difficult to worry about a minor thing, having read what this man had to go through. It also reminds me of what kind of a person I wish to be, how important it is to be brave and to have compassion for others. No need to dwell on things, to hang in negative emotion. It's a book that emotionally had an impact. It's not one of those books necessarily that impacts the mind. It's more a book for the heart, and I always love these kinds of books. Somehow, something that touches my heart always makes more impact than something for the mind. I do have to warn the readers. It's about a man and his difficult time growing up as a Jew in the Weimar period and having to hide and to be captured in concentration camps and losing almost everything and everyone you love and care about. It's a very difficult book to read, but it is so inspirational, and the core message is something that is very rare and that I have not felt as deep in other books. And I find that as a minimalist who wants to live the best life, I think it's important to realize what to care for and what not to care for. So that's why I think it has a connection to minimalism. It's about the essence and the importance of life. The second book is one that is quite popular. It's the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And this book also is about how relative everything is, to see how unimportant most things are, and that we do not have the capacity to care about everything in the world, and that we need to very carefully choose what we want to care for and what we don't want to care for in order to live our best lives. And the third book is called Small is Beautiful. And this one I actually read quite a while ago, but I think it should be on the list too. It's about a more minimal way of how the world can run economically, and it's quite the opposite of what we see happening right now with the World Economic Forum agenda that is being pushed globally with a lot of harmful side effects. This book shows what local shopping and local economics can do for the world, how to support your locals and neighbors, and how we can have economical growth in a smaller scale without destroying the resources of planet Earth and from ourselves as well. how we don't have to strive for more globalization, for bigger companies, for everything becoming more robotic and inhumane, that we can make things smaller, that we can start to care for our neighbors, for ourselves, for the people working for us, and for everything, and how economical growth can exist without destroying everything else. And then the last book that I picked for today, it's such a simple book and also so simple written, and I love that about it. It's about a man who describes his life and what he wanted to change, why he was not happy, and how he got the things that he wanted. And I always find it very inspirational to hear someone talk about their life. And it's also a very short book, it's more like a podcast. I feel like if you want to declutter, if you want to find some motivation in how to envision your home looks like, how you want your life to look like, and just to find some inspiration and motivation, this book works very well for that. And so these are some of my current favorite books. And many of them I listen from YouTube, but I also like to listen to Audible. I have a link for a free trial for Audible if you're interested in that. It will give me a small commission. But as I said, many of those books are free on YouTube. And I was wondering if you have read any of these books, and if so, what your thoughts are on it. Or if you want to read some of the books and why this particular one. So let me know. And see you next time again. Thanks so much for watching.